Hey, good Thursday morning, everybody. What I like to call Little Friday. It is Thursday, January 19th. Chris Allen here on the Sam channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all in one place. The Sam channel, sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace, with your morning weather update for Southern Kentucky. It's cloudy for the time being, but we're starting to see some clearing taking place back to our west. The cold front making its way through, and there you see the leftover showers still around Campbellsville to Somerset, down to Cookeville, Tennessee. That's going to be the extent of it. As it comes on through this morning, we're going to see skies clearing from west to east. The winds are going to be up there. They're already kind of blowing around out there, but the winds are really going to pick up today as this front comes in. And as you can see, there's another little piece of energy just off to our northwest, up around Mount Vernon, Illinois, and St. Louis. Yeah, that's all pinwheeling around a low pressure system that is off to our north. So we escaped the severe weather threat that stayed further south of us. And remember, I said yesterday, if you were watching, if we could keep that severe weather threat and that focus of energy a little bit further south and not allow those 60-degree dew points to come up this far north, then we might be able to not have to deal with severe weather. I heard maybe one rumble of thunder overnight, and that was about it. Some of you didn't hear that at all. And it was just a round of pretty good rainfall. We'll check some of the rainfall amounts here in a second. But as you can see, a lot of this is pretty much over with. We're going to see a return to some sunshine today with a few clouds from time to time and a very windy, warm day, the last warm day in the 60s that we're going to see for a minute or two. As you'll see right now in the model viewer, the blend of models here showing that we're going to go back to more seasonable temperatures and maybe even a time or two being a little bit below seasonable averages for this time of the year. The average is 46. And as you scan across that graphic, you can see that we're going to be right there until we get into, say, the end of next week. About a week from now, it looks like there will be a couple of really chilly days that pop up. Nothing like back at Christmas when we were below zero. Nothing like that. In fact, the overall trends here, long range, do look warmer than usual. And we've been there pretty much all January, and it looks like we're going to continue that even through the rest of January into February, even though we're going to have that cool down that you see next Thursday, Friday. But until then, today we're looking at mid 60s once again. The winds are going to pick up until that cold front comes through. Will be warm and windy. And then the sun comes out through the clouds. After that, once we get into later this afternoon, we're going to start to feel a drop in temperature behind the front, but it really won't be felt until we get into tonight, I think, as we drop into the mid 30s. And then we only get into the mid 40s tomorrow. And the weekend, even though it looks pretty good at this point, it's going to be noticeably cooler, right there where we should be this time of the year for high temperatures, mid to upper 40s, lows in the 30s. And there you see the rest of that. I don't foresee any more 60-degree weather coming anytime after today. So while it is unseasonably warm, it's not going to stay that way. It's going to stay pretty much status quo, kind of mildish from time to time, and then that cool down that's going to hit us at the end of next week. So, what about temperatures this morning? The Kentucky Mesonet Network is showing that we're all in the 50s this morning, and you can see that those temperatures are holding pretty steady. 60s. There's even mid 60s, unusually so, over in far eastern and southeastern Kentucky this morning. That's before, not behind, well before the cold front comes through. So they have had some time to warm up. They got a cover of clouds. They're getting some of the leftover rain and the showers that are going on right now. So that's why they are warmer than we are. And that cold front is about to make its way through our area. So the temperatures this morning will rebound back into the low 60s, maybe the mid 60s with that breezy wind, and then they'll start to cool down from west to east. Here's a look at mesonet rainfall totals. We did pick up over an inch in Franklin, Simpson County, the mesonet, Kentucky mesonet site down there. Almost that much over in Allen County. And once you went over to Tompkinsville, Monroe County, here's Burkesville, almost an inch of rain there. And you see some 6/10 to 3/4 to 8/10 to a half inch. I pretty much yesterday said we could pick up anywhere from 3/4 to an inch of rain. That's pretty much what we see here in southern Kentucky, although it was not delivering quite the punch that we thought it would. Lesser amounts, more in the range of a half inch to 3/4 west of us. And then there was that area of very heavy rain that was in far, far western Kentucky over near the Ohio and the Mississippi rivers. So, and of course, hardly anything. They're getting rain now, though, in eastern Kentucky. So their numbers are going to start to tick up here as we go through the rest of the morning. So, nice little drink of water, even though we really didn't need it. I haven't seen any flood issues or anything like that. So that's certainly good news. And like I said, we escaped the threat of severe weather from this system. All of that was further south of us. All right, let's take a look at future temperatures. And we're starting out this morning with 50s, and we will get into the low to mid 60s. This is showing 62. We may get there. We may get 63, even 64 before we start to fall off later this afternoon. Here's our cold front coming through. The temperatures will start to, you'll notice, even with the gusty winds, that the temperatures will start to cool more and more and more until we get down into the mid 30s tonight. So I think that's where we're going to land overall. All the precipitation will be gone, so I'm not worried about, frozen precipitation, snow, anything mixed in like that. Now, further north, it could be something there. There will be some leftover moisture near that low pressure system, but not here in southern Kentucky. Tomorrow will be noticeably cooler, as mentioned. We're only going to get up to about 40, low 40s, maybe. 41, 42, 43. That's it. Like I said, after today, no more 60s in the picture for a pretty good while to come. We're going to stay more in line with those average temperatures for this time of the year, which is right there in the mid to upper 40s. What about future radar? Well, here's the scene this morning, as you saw on the live radar, that we have shower pulling away from us. Those are going to continue to move on out. I do think because of that backdoor front that I showed you over St. Louis, that piece of energy is going to swing down into our area this afternoon with the possibility of a few stray showers lining up with that secondary front. But that secondary front's just going to fall apart. It's going to just be eaten up by high pressure coming in back behind it, the Pac-Man thing. And it's just going to erode. But I still think there could be enough, just a little bit of daytime heating with the sun coming out, the wind flow, the available moisture. We could squeeze out maybe a shower this afternoon. I'm going to keep it becoming mostly sunny today, but with that little caveat that somebody could pick up a shower later this afternoon, especially from about E-Town north. There could actually even be a few leftover thunderstorms up around the metro Louisville area and into southern Indiana. So there you see that secondary front just kind of passing through. After that, quiet. We're all quiet for Friday into Saturday. Pretty quiet weather coming, and cooler weather too once we get those two cold fronts passing through the area. And I can show you that right now on the surface map and how they're going to progress through and what they're going to bring. Here is the current situation. There's your two fronts. We've got one coming through or has come through already this morning. And then the second one, you'll watch it, even though it's still painted as a solid line here, it's going to start to break apart, fall apart. Two low pressure systems, two cold fronts. This is the main one. This one is actually going to usher in the cooler air once we get into later this afternoon and this evening. That's when you'll really start to feel the cool down with those breezy winds later. So here we go into this afternoon. Here comes the second front, and then it starts to fall apart. See it's broken lines now instead of a solid line. Pretty good winds here. The isobars are tight. So that means equal lines of pressure. And where you've got the difference between low pressure, high pressure, you get these winds wrapping around that low pressure system that is going to go over the Great Lakes, provide rain. Yeah, warm enough for rain in some cases, but back behind it, where it wraps around that colder air from Canada, that's going to be snow and some pretty decent snow and ice and mix and all that in the New England states. We become quiet as far as our weather is concerned for tonight and into the day tomorrow. Another little piece of energy tries to swing through on the backside of that low pressure system. If anything, a few clouds. But here we go, Friday into Saturday, very nice and sunny. Now, there is something to look at here. We've got a low pressure system here over the southern part of Texas and then the Gulf of Mexico. And then we've got this one that is coming in from the Four Corners into the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. This is on Saturday. Let's go to Saturday midday, Pacific system, Gulf of Mexico system. These two are going to do a bit of convergence, high pressure over us for Saturday. So Saturday looks good. But by late Saturday night into early Sunday morning, those two low pressure systems are going to work together to set us up for another chance of rain and borderline, maybe by Sunday morning, borderline, a mix. It depends on how this thing tracks. This looks to be pretty close. The models are in more of a consensus where this is going to track. So we're talking rain showers, nothing severe. This would be during the day Sunday and then maybe into very early Monday morning. Let's go into Monday and see. Yeah, see, it's still kind of left over here. This low deepens as it moves into the New England states, and it's going to be a pretty good rain and snow maker. You know, New York City has had this big deficit on snow. Normally by now, they're getting some big time snows, but that's not happening right now. It's because the way these patterns are set up, they're warmer. They all trend warmer. Even though, like this next one back behind it is will throw down some snow in the Rockies all the way down into New Mexico by Monday. It's still a warm type situation where the jet stream is running way to the north of us. The Pacific jet is running way to the north, and that means everybody generally stays warm. Okay, that just reset on me. So let me jump ahead. Here we go into Sunday once again, into Monday, and then into Tuesday. Here we go again. Another low pressure system over the Gulf and another Pacific storm diving deep into Texas. So what is this one going to do? it's anybody's guess where that low pressure system's going to go. This is showing it north. This particular system, Tuesday into next Wednesday, if it goes north, it's going to be a rainmaker for us. If some of the models are showing it going south of us into the Tennessee Valley, if that should happen, we'll be on the colder side of things, and we could end up with snow here in southern Kentucky with this system. As you see, the precipitation is not painted in on this one. This is always the last frame, and they don't paint that in because it's so far out. It's a week out. But I can tell you, I've already seen some of the model switches back and forth, and right now they're not in very good consensus at all. One has this traveling north, like you see here. That would bring us rain next Wednesday. Another one has it going south. If that should happen, we could get a pretty good snow out of this one. We'll just have to wait and see. That's a week away, though. So, but it gives us something to, look forward to. If you're a snow lover, you're wanting maybe one more before we go into spring. And really the way the overall trend of the patterns are looking, I'm cautiously saying I don't see us having that much more of a winter. Maybe more warmth. The overall patterns and the signals and the way the jet stream's going way to the north of us is all signaling to us that the trends are going to be on the warmer side of things, a temporary shot of colder air that could produce after a day of storms. And when it's really warm, we get cold enough for a quick snow, and then that's it. And that's maybe what happens a week from today. But after that, as we go into February, even into March, it looks like it's going to be, the signals are showing warmer. Global warming. If you're going to say global warming, you also have to say global cooling. When do you hear that term? Never. I don't want to get into all that because I've already run over my time. But I'm headed to the radio station, Sam 100.7, where we throw that garbage out the window and we have a lot of fun with the best music on your radio, period. And we have a lot of fun. Have a lot of fun. If you haven't listened, just turn it on in your car. Don't mess with your phone. Don't worry about that. Turn on, your car comes with a radio. Go to 100.7. And I guarantee, like, oh, I don't want to hear all the commercials. Well, the commercials pay the bills. And even our commercials sound good. Full stereo. The dynamics. The full range of sound. And when the music plays, you hear every instrument. Even better than you did back in the 70s and 80s when you were just listening to cheap little speakers. Oh my goodness. What you hear now, you're like, I didn't know that song had a saxophone in it. Or I didn't know there was an orchestra behind the singers in this song. Or I never heard that keyboard part. Or the guitar licks. We bring all that out. These are your songs that you grew up with, and they sound phenomenal on the radio. Sam 100.7. And we even have now the digital little readouts. If your car is equipped with that, it'll show you the name of the artist, the title of the song, and I'm going in now individually with each song and putting the year that it came out. So when you hear that song, Journey, Separate Ways, and then in parentheses, it'll have 1983, 1984, or whatever. You're like, I remember that year. I remember this song. That was that year. And all the memories come back. See, that's what it's all about. Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. I just love what I do. All right, you guys, thank you for watching and listening. I'll see you on the radio this morning, 6 to 10 on Sam. God bless you.